What it do? Another episode on Let's Level Up podcast.
Don't think about the moment. Think about the bigger picture.
What it do? This another episode on Let's Level Up podcast with Ricky Rodriguez. Today we have a very special guest in the building, entrepreneur, actor, and you're going to find out the rest, man. Hey, let's give it up for the homegirl, Njie. What's up, superstar? All right.
Thank you.
How you doing?
That's an introduction. I'm
Right.
doing amazing. Thank you for asking.
Hey, appreciate you coming through. It's an honor having you on the platform. For the people that might not know you that going to be tuning in, where can they find you on social media?
So if you want to find me on social media, you can log into IG and type in Njie Official. That's Njie Official spelled the right way.
Y'all make sure to tune in.
There you go.
Y'all make sure to tune in, because on this platform, we bring guests that are leveling up in life, trying to be better than yesterday. That's what this platform is all about, leveling up. So if you like the content we've been putting out, please subscribe, like, share, comment, all that great stuff. And don't go nowhere because this conversation is going to be hot. All right. Yo, Njie, appreciate you coming again. So for the people that don't know, where are you originally from?
Okay, so I was born and raised in Miami, Florida.
Okay.
My mom, she was Jamaican, and my father, he's African.
Okay.
So, yeah, my father's from Gambia, and my mom's from Montego Bay.
Nice. Did you ever visit those places growing up?
I have visited Jamaica, but not Africa. So at first, initially, I was a little afraid.
Yeah.
But it's something that I would like to do. It's something on my bucket list. I would definitely want to go to Africa now.
Yeah, that's one of the countries I've always dreamed of going to.
Yeah,
so.
I just felt like it was so far, and you had to get on that plane. It's like it's so long.
Yeah, and how was how old were you when you went to Jamaica?
Jamaica, I've gone so many times.
Yeah, but what was the first time? When you were real young?
No, honestly, it was maybe when I was about 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first. And it was for a dance competition.
How was that experience?
It was fun. I won a trophy. So
Nice.
It's like dance hall competition type stuff. So I was, I love to dance. So yeah.
And how was it growing up in Miami?
Oh man, Miami is beautiful. I used to go into the beaches every Sunday. I grew up in a really big family. I have six of us in total.
Okay.
My mom was a single mom. I grew up in, people call it the projects or whatever they want to call it. But, I did grow up in a community that was a little bit less fortunate, but we were all supportive. We all, it was community. It was community. So it was what it was. Yeah.
So because a lot of people get it confused. They just see the pretty parts of Miami, but they don't know that other side.
There's a heart. There's a heartbeat that, allows Miami to really thrive. And I would say it's in those communities, that we create that essence, Where I'm from, we call it the APTs,
Okay.
So,
Okay.
305, however you want to say it, when you hear Flo Rida and all these people, talk about Miami, it's real.
Yeah, it's real out there. Real. And you mentioned your mom being a single mother. Did it affect you not having your father growing up?
I would say so. So when I was growing up, my mother married a man who I consider my dad. He passed away. He was from Georgia. He passed away when I was about 13. So he was that father figure in my life up until that age. After 13, I think that's when I felt the effects of not having a dad around. Having him be that role model for me and my brothers was major. And then I didn't realize he wasn't my real dad until I was 13.
Okay.
And I was kind of mad at my mom at that point because it was like, why did you even tell me? What's the purpose?
Yeah.
He's not around. I don't know him,
Yeah.
But I did learn a lot about him and, just kind of wanting to know more of my African roots. I wish I did have a relationship with him,
Yeah.
He's still around. I don't know. Maybe one day in life. Who knows?
Yeah, one day in life.
But it definitely affects you not having your dad around.
Yeah. No, I know. I grew up without my father too, so I know how it is. Yeah. But no, that's what's up. I think growing up in areas like that, growing up in circumstances like that, make you a stronger human being. You don't really appreciate it till later in life, I feel.
Yeah.
No,
that's real. Because when you're going through it, you want to hurry up and get out of it. You're tired of it. You're tired of the nights where you're really hungry. You're tired of the nights where you got to share beds. You're tired of the nights. It's so much. I can go into so many details, right?
Yeah, you just blaming people, other people. You blaming everybody. You blaming the world for everything.
Everybody,
Grow up mad.
You do. And then my mom, again, being a single mom, she would go to work, she'd go to school. I'm the oldest of 6.
Yeah, I was the oldest of 6 too.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was the oldest
you
of
talking
6.
about having to cook. I don't know how to cook. I didn't know how to cook.
Nah, I used to just ravioli
What?
cans.
You
Ravioli
had
cans.
ravioli,
Yeah,
bro.
no.
That was
For all the
good.
bros and sisters. Raviolis and maruchanes and the noodles, you know.
Bet. Now, the
Yeah,
noodles was
we
our
microwaving everything.
Hello.
Yeah.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. I did try to cook a few times. The meat was a bit raw, so they wouldn't eat it. We would eat sandwiches like made with sweet peas or corn, and I would. You better eat this and call it a day.
Yeah,
And
nah, my mom too. She had like 2, 3
Yeah,
jobs, so she
like-
was never home. She'd just leave like a list on the fridge and
things to do.
do this, do this,
Yeah.
do this, and I was the oldest, so I know how it is.
Yeah, it's not
Know how it is. I could relate to that. And your journey in school, how was that? You being the head of really, your mom's right hand.
Yeah.
Really, how was it going? Did it affect you going to school?
It was
Were you not concentrating?
I was completely the opposite. No. I was a straight A student. I was really, 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 really smart. I was a nerd. At home, I had to be the boss. Like, come on. At school, I was total opposite. I was so timid. I was scared.
Yeah.
I was nervous. I was very, very shy. If you would have now, although I started acting at 6 years old, you would have. I still always had a fear for some reason, but yeah, I was completely opposite. I ran track in school. I was a cheerleader, but I still was very, very to myself.
Cool. And we're gonna get into the acting stuff in a bit. But as far as, did you graduate from high school and go to college, or just
I did.
Yeah,
I did. I graduated from high school and I went to college for psychology.
psychology.
Yeah,
Okay, and did you ever do anything
I
with
did not
psychology?
do anything with
Why
psychology.
not? Why not?
Life took a different turn for me in college. It definitely took a different turn for me, and I didn't finish.
Yeah.
And I had my son at a very young age, so I'm the single mom.
Yeah.
Having to juggle all of that, and I just kind of made some decisions and just didn't.
It didn't work
finish.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you do college for you, or you did it because you wanted to go, or you did it more?
Nah, I wanted
so
to go. I'm telling you, when I was a nerd, I'm a nerd. Like,
Yeah.
I love to study. I love
Yeah.
to read. And psychology was my thing because I'm a people's person. So I like to learn about people, try to figure out what is it that makes you tick, what makes you do what you do.
Yeah.
So,
Cool. And how many years you went to college?
For 4 years. For
4
3
years.
years. 3 years.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Njie's in college, single mother.
Yeah.
What jobs did you have
Ooh, child.
growing up? In that era, because I know it was a little difficult.
I worked in
Yeah.
restaurants.
Yeah.
South Beach was really my thing. I'm a waitress, was really big. I was really big on waitressing on South Beach, made tons of money. But yeah, again, my life turned into some
Yeah.
to some directions that I probably would not have wanted to turn, but I don't regret it. So let's really be clear. Because it made me who I am today. But I was a correction officer. I worked at Home Depot in the paint
cool.
department,
That's
teaching
cool.
people how to paint their homes.
That's cool. And I
they're
have a painting business. I have
See?
yes, you see. So,
And I enjoyed that. I'm
Yeah.
not even gonna lie. Like putting the different colors together, telling them, no, you got to prime this first. No, you have to scrape this off
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
I enjoyed
the
it.
prepping
Yeah,
process and
I
all
love
that.
it.
Yep. So no, that's what's up. We have a lot in common.
Yeah,
Hey,
to go from dark to light colors. Yeah,
Now
I
that's
love
cool. That's cool. And you said you found interest. Well, you started acting at 6 years old. You
Yeah.
mentioned, right?
Yeah.
Was that just at home, or you were in classes, or how was that?
Yeah, so that started in elementary school. So
Okay.
in elementary school, my mom would put me in the school plays and, the different productions. As I grew a little older, maybe middle school, high school, I started doing more of church. So I was really heavily involved in church by the time I got to high school. So, church really, really honed in for me that I love this.
Yeah.
Like, this is something that I want to do.
Okay.
Although it wasn't something that my parents, my grandmother, she was really against it. She felt like it was devil's work. So she didn't want me to do it, but I just couldn't understand, how was it okay for me to do it in church, but I couldn't do it free will how I wanted to, Even if you're not taking off your clothes, because not every role requires you to do something explicit, So I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like that's for everybody in the entertainment business. Like, your parents don't want you to go that route because they know it's very, very hard, and
Yeah.
they just tell you, why don't you be a doctor? Why don't you be a
yeah.
teacher? Why don't you be a
Nurse or-
lawyer, a
yeah.
nurse, stuff like that. So they want you to take that safe route where just study, go to school, and take that route. So after, all right, so your life continues. did you from that on, at that young age, did you continue with the acting still, with family members being against you, or did you stop for a little bit and then go back into it?
I would say I was always very strong head, strong minded. So while I was in college, I had my own place. I had my own place since I was about 17 years old.
Okay.
Because I graduated high school early, got into college on scholarship, so I was always doing my own thing. So although they didn't like it, I felt like what you don't see won't hurt you. Yeah. So I continued to do it. However, it did hurt me because I didn't have the guidance, I didn't have the structure. So while I was out there in the industry, I was exposed to so much, and a lot of it, kind of deterred me from going forward. So I kind of dropped the acting and all of those things probably at the age of like 19, probably like 19, 20.
Yeah.
And when I stopped all the way to 27.
To 20, you stopped.
I stopped cold turkey. I was like, yeah, I'm good, because if I have to succumb to those things that these gentlemen or certain people want me to do, I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, the industry's harder for women.
Hard.
I feel
hard.
for women. Yeah, back then it was harder, I feel.
Yeah.
Now it's a little,
It's a little different, right? Because now we're
different.
creating our own lanes. We'll get into that too, but yeah. So no, it's definitely different.
That's cool. And there's a lot of Latinos in Miami. Did you,
come on, now I grew up with Dominicans, my
Cubans,
best friend, my best friend Puerto Rican. Like, don't play with us. Like,
Did you learn some Spanish?
Of course, un poquito, no
un poquito.
Un poquito. I didn't have to do it too much, but just a little bit. That Dominican Spanish, we know everyone says it's not.
Everybody's. It's like I'm Mexican. But, but when I go to PR, when I go to DR, Colombia, or Venezuela, anywhere I go, everybody's like lingo is different.
Yeah, it's different. One of my other best friends from Honduras, so it's it's different.
Yeah, everywhere is different. It's just like
I love my
like
Spanish
I give an easy example. It's just like Atlanta, and you go to New York.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Totally
it's
different.
just
Totally
different.
different.
They we probably don't know what they talking about sometimes up there. We don't know, and they don't know what we talking about. We sound too country.
It was the twin for me.
Yeah, the twin. What up, twin? Hey, what up, shouty?
Right.
Yeah.
That's what it was for me. So it's a big difference even from here to Miami.
Yeah.
So
Nah, I feel you. I feel you.
Jit this, jit that.
Yeah, nah. I gotta keep learning with the young generation here in Atlanta. I gotta keep learning with all the homies, man. I'm telling you. So how did you land a role in Telemundo? I know it's big out there in Miami, but how did you land? Because I used to watch Telemundo all the time.
It was really a blessing. I have been fortunate in Miami to be a part of so many different productions. I remember a young lady, she was a casting agent, and she came to one of my stage plays. And when she came to the stage play, I didn't even know how, because it wasn't a Spanish production or anything like that. She just came. And when she came, she enjoyed what I did and asked me, did I have an agent? And I was like, no. And she told me she works in the Spanish market. I said, well, I would love to, go
expand
out.
The portfolio,
yeah. Don't put me in a box. Let me go out there. And she was like, come on. I went in for a few auditions, and they loved me. They were like, they was like, oh my God.
So you
bring her. I want her to do this. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It kind of hurt me when I moved from Miami to here because of that opportunity.
How long ago did you move?
5 years now.
5 years now. And how you like Atlanta?
I mean, I like Atlanta. I like it. It's very peaceful to me. It's peaceful. I'm in Noonan, so it's peaceful out there. I'm used to the hustle and bustle, so it's a lot different. When it comes down to the acting, the compensation here is way better.
Way better. Is it too saturated out there in Miami? Yeah.
I wouldn't say so, because you have a lot of individuals that are creating their own lanes. Yeah. So there's so many of them. So I wouldn't say so. It'd be just like here.
Yeah, just like here. Cool. All we missing is a beach in Atlanta, huh? That's it, right? That's it. That's all we missing. And then it will be straight.
It'll be over. It'll be over. What? Because you guys have the winters. At first, I hated winters.
Nah, I hate it. That's why I've always wanted to move to Florida.
My God.
Or to a tropical island or something, because I hate winters. I hate the cold.
I ain't gonna lie though, I'm starting to feel the winters though, because I get to dress up. You can't dress up in Florida like that.
Yeah, nah, you can't. You like it. You like your boots and all that. Yeah,
nah. I get to step out a little different.
Yeah, I don't like it. I like to be. I'd rather be. Here? Yeah, I was born and raised here,
and
but
like it?
I don't like the cold.
Oh
I don't like. I think I should have been born in Florida or somewhere in the island or somewhere. I love flip flops and palm trees. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I love it. So yeah, it's cold. It ain't for me.
Nah,
I don't know.
I feel you.
And we only get like 3-4 months.
No, that's right. That's true. But when I do go back down to Miami now, is hot to me.
It's hot to you.
Oh my gosh.
Too humid, huh?
It's, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, that's so crazy.
Yeah, Miami's
5
growing.
years could change. Yeah,
Miami's
5
growing. Yeah, and then the lifestyle over there, like everybody makes it seem so high profile, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, because you got really nice areas. You have, Wynwoods, you have Bell Harbor, you have Aventura, you got Pembroke Pines. You got so many different nice areas now. Miramar, West Pembroke Pines. You got, all kinds of places.
Yeah.
West Palm Beach. I can go on. There's so many.
Yeah.
So
Nah,
many.
yeah, I've been over there. Like I said, I've been to
And
the.
people are living for real, They're,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got some that are flodgers, but.
Yeah, we call them in Spanish peliculeros, like
peliculeros.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
they're like the
I learned
fake it till
Spanish
you
when
make
I
it.
go- Yeah,
Your
yeah,
type.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah. Nah, that's cool. So you said you stopped acting from around what age?
Like
to
19.
19 to 27, around there. So when how was your experience in your first acting gig after coming back into the scene?
That's interesting. So when I was 27, I had a homegirl of mine that asked me to do a fashion show for her a photo shoot for her boutique. And I was like, girl, no, I am too old now. I'm out of the industry. I don't want to do none of that stuff. She's like, no, please, please, please. And I was like, you know what? All right, come on. From that photo shoot, a photographer appreciated my pictures, put me in a magazine, put me at the cover of his magazine. From there, I started doing runway. So at 27, here I am doing runway. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
So I started doing the runway, and then I started to get the bug again.
Yeah.
And once I got the bug, I was like, runway wasn't really my thing because, yes, although I had the slim, I was really slim back then. Yeah. I just didn't, it wasn't my thing. I much respect to a lot of runway models, but it wasn't my thing. So I started going back into the acting by getting an acting coach, Stephanie St. James.
Okay.
And with her, she helped me to hone back into my craft. And landing my first movie as a lead in the movie Crazy Love, it was intense. It felt like home again. Like it felt like I love acting.
And how old were you at that time when you got that role?
I was
You were
I was in that.
27,
Yeah, I was
28?
like 28. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah, I was
okay.
like right
and
there.
were you nervous?
I was not nervous. I felt like I felt like
natural.
I felt like I was at home.
Yeah, no,
did.
that's cool. I
did.
feel like if I went to acting, I even get nervous here doing podcasts. That's
No,
why I
you
put these
don't.
glasses on.
Really?
Yeah, that's why. Look,
But
this
you
what I
sound
tell.
so good.
I know, but this what I tell everybody. I don't know if you seen that movie Big Daddy.
Did I see Big Daddy?
Yeah, is it Big Daddy? Where what's his name? That does that. What's that name? Huh?
Oh, Adam Sandler. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
Adam Sandler. He tells the little kid, "Put the glasses on, and you invisible." You know what I'm saying? So that's what I do. I put the glasses on, can't nobody see me. But, so it gives me that superhero.
We see you, though.
Yeah, I want to be
We
seen.
see you.
So I still get nervous to this day, and I got over 50 episodes. Done vlogs. I even tell everybody, like when we filming out of the country or whatever, I'll be like, let the people pass by, then we can shoot. You know what I'm saying?
No, you know what though? I feel that because even as an actress now, I will say I still get those butterflies in my stomach before they call action or before the curtains open. I still get that. I think that humbles us, and I think that keeps us right where we need to be. We're not too big and we're not too small.
I feel you. I feel like I just need to stop caring what people think.
Oh, definitely, you gotta
Right.
stop caring.
Yeah.
I don't have the butterflies because I care what people think.
Yeah.
I'm over that.
So that's. I mean, I really don't care, but
Yeah,
a little bit, because I used to never I don't have an issue if they say some bad comments on
Okay.
Instagram or whatever, whatever. You
Yeah, of
don't know
course,
me,
of
I don't know
course.
you. But yeah, I still get a little nervous, or I'll be like, they probably think I'm a lame doing this.
No.
That's how I feel sometimes.
real?
Yeah, for
Man,
real.
you
Man, I'll be
crazy.
like, look, I'm from the streets, man.
everybody could
I'm
do
from the
this.
streets. I'm changed. I changed. I'm a nice person now.
Oh,
But
that's
look,
probably
see,
why.
yeah, cause see a lot of
'Cause
things a
it's
lot of people don't know. Like I've
different.
been to prison, I've done all that. Like
Yeah.
we been there, but now I changed to this,
Yeah.
So I'm like, man,
come on now. I done met one superhero and I'm making another
Yeah.
superhero. Like to be able to change your life completely,
Yeah.
that's major moves.
Yeah, we trying.
Now
Trying.
you doing it. Stop
Yeah, we
playing.
doing what we
Yeah, you
doing.
good.
And what was the wildest
And
celebrity
I was a
start?
correction officer too, so go ahead.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You was the enemy. You was the enemy. You was the enemy.
mean,
Nah, it's all good. Nah, some of them are our friends. They slide us.
I don't slide nothing though.
You like no.
Nah.
Nah, it's all good,
good,
man. Nah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Tell me a little bit about that experience. I want to know
Being a
before we
correction
go
officer?
into the other stuff. How was it being? How old were you?
Oh, how old was I? I think this is when I stopped the acting in about 18, 19. I think I got into it around 20,
Yeah.
21.
Okay,
Maybe
okay.
like 21. Yeah.
You was
So I
working in
young.
the prison, in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
jail, in the
In the
jails for the women,
No, I worked with the men.
and
I
they
worked with the
weren't.
women
Yeah,
first and
yeah.
then the men. So
And they wouldn't like flirt with you
oh man,
all the time.
if I tell you some of these stories,
Go ahead, say some stories. You want to hear it? Go ahead.
I remember one time they had me work in confinement. So in confinement, most times the officer has to go around and do the rounds every 30 minutes in confinement. So to make sure, no suicides, no, all those kind of good stuff. So as I'm making my rounds, this one particular girl in her cell, she'd be like, "Hey, Beyonce," and I'll be like, "I'm wrapped up. Like when I go to work, I don't have on the tight jeans like all the other girls. I mean, tight pants, and my clothes are fit
Loose.
Yeah, they're loose.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I have on a hat.
Yeah.
You can't even see me. She's like, "Hey, Beyonce." So I'm going around again. I'm like, "Girl, if you say it one more time, I swear I'm gonna write you up." She's like, all right, I'm gonna chill. So and then we're there for about 8 hours. So I probably did about however many different rounds. And I told the other officer to go down and do it. So now when that officer goes down to do it, they're like, where Beyonce at? If Beyonce don't come down here right now,
Yeah.
I say it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem. And I wouldn't go down. And the other officer still had to make her rounds. So this girl went up and turned on the sprinkler system inside the office, did not want to take her food unless it was me coming down there to give it to her.
Wow, that's crazy.
Oh my! I got
That's
some
great.
stories.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, you got some fans in there
my
already.
God.
No, that's
Like,
crazy.
I really did. I used to have inmates that would be like, "Miss Njie, they was talking about you, Miss Njie." I'm like, I don't care. They was like, "But I know, girl. They was talking about this and they said that." I was like, I don't care.
So you worked there for a while?
Yeah, I did about 4 years.
4 years, and what made you quit?
So, I didn't like coming home smelling like the prison, inside there. I didn't like that I was locked in there sometimes because I worked all kind of shifts. I didn't like that I was in there, especially when I worked the midnight shift. You're locked in there with the inmates. So I just didn't like that mentally. I got a big heart for people, so I did see a lot of women in there that I wanted to, talk to and, encourage. And when I hear some of their stories and some of the things that they would say, they're like, "Miss Njie, I'm not going nowhere. If they let me out, I'm coming right back in here. There's no place
They
for
felt
me
comfortable
out
at,
there. Yeah, so I used to feel really bad. And, you can't be in no office to talk about you feeling bad for inmates. People, they looked, most officers didn't look at inmates like regular people, and I did, and I would sympathize with certain things. Now, that does not mean that they would manipulate me or do those things, because I'm really strong. Oldest of 6, like, don't play with me, but I still had a heart. So for me, I was like, nah, this not my
So
my
you
lane.
you do get connected with people in there.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Nah, same with one officer back when I was locked up. He'll let me, like, I work in the kitchen, so I'll be taking chicken back to the units, and he'll let me. He'd be like, just don't take advantage of it, homie. Just don't take it, but I'll be taking back to the units because I ain't had nobody go and send me no money for commissary,
That's
so
what
I
I'm
had to
saying.
make a living in there, stuff like that.
And that's what I'm like, and you can't have we're not trained to have a heart, for that, so. I was like, nah, this is not my lane.
Yeah, couldn't do it.
not my lane.
Yeah. Nah, and then, like, same with prisoners, like, you feel like when you get out, you'll be lost out here. And then you feel like, same with me, like, the first couple months or a year passed by, I'm like, man, it's harder out here than in there.
Yeah, because in there you had structure. In there you knew what tomorrow was going to do, what you had to do tomorrow. Here you like, dang, it's so many opportunities, so many avenues, so many places.
Yeah, you feel lost.
How do I turn? Where do I go? Is this my friends? That, like, it's
so much going on.
It's
Yeah. So sometimes I'll be like, man, wish I could just go back. For real. Like, that's how a lot of people.
That's how the girl was, and I felt so. I'm telling you, it was so many of them in there.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
That was definitely an experience in my life. And after I did that, I was just like, you know what? I'm done. I want to own my own business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so after that, you entered entrepreneurship.
I did.
And what was that entrepreneurship?
I went straight into radio first.
Radio.
Yep. I had my own radio show. It was called The Business Corner. I was on from Monday to Friday. It was an AM station, but I did have listeners and did have, like, good followers and stuff.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that. Then at that time, my partner and we opened up a tax company.
Okay.
And the rest was history.
And how's that entrepreneurship road? Because I know it ain't for
It's
everybody.
not.
It's
It's
hard.
hard. It's
Have to
hard.
sacrifice a lot. Sleepless nights. A lot of people doubt you. You don't know. Some months you may make 5,000. Some you may make 1,000 something,
Yeah.
nothing.
From
So that's
nothing.
the entrepreneurship
But
life.
the
How
bill's
was
still
it?
coming in.
Always the
that same
same
amount.
thing or more.
Yeah, so you're stressing, and it's definitely a journey, and it's not for the weak of heart, but you can do it if you stay committed, and you just persevere. The right support system is very, very keen if you want to become an entrepreneur, no matter what you want to do, do the research for it, But yeah, it was definitely a lot of ups and downs. 1 minute you have a partner, 1 minute you're doing it solo. Now I'm looking, do I want more partners? Then you realize, no, I'm probably better off by myself. Now it's hard doing it alone because you can't wear the marketing hat. You can't wear, the business hat. I can't, customer service. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. You need a
lot.
team.
You need a team.
Yeah,
so
you need a
building
team.
that team was essential.
Yeah, and like I tell everybody, entrepreneurship is not for everybody, and it's good. But if you could find you a good team that could give you opportunities to grow, because you could be a manager, you know what I'm saying? You could control that, But entrepreneurship is not for everybody, and it's cool. Yeah, that's what I tell everybody. That's what I tell, because a lot of people they get in the business, they try to find results in a month or two. It don't work like that.
It don't work like
no,
that.
You got to wait 3, 4, or 5 years.
They say that for your business to be successful, they usually tell you, it takes about 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, at least. At least. Yeah, at least.
I've been at it now for a very long time, and I would really say that I'm honestly now rebuilding again, from scratch. Like it's no joke.
Yeah, it's
not no joke, but the knowledge never leaves you.
Yeah.
Right? So the knowledge of what you do, how you do it, what steps you need to take next, it never leaves you. So now it's on you. With $0, with no customers, do I keep going? Yeah,
and that's one thing about it. Like, once you become an entrepreneur and you got a little success off of it, and maybe you fell back, you can't go back. You can't. It's hard because you already tasted it, and you don't even do it for the money. You do it for your free time, for the time. Like I don't have to ask nobody, can I take vacation days? I make my own rules.
Yeah, that
really.
Flexibility is everything. Especially me now. I'm single and I'm a mom of 3. Thank God, my oldest, he's still in Miami. He's a truck driver. My middle child, he's in Kentucky. He plays football, and now it's just me and my daughter.
Nice.
Until she gets to that age to go to college. So
nice.
It's no joke. Yeah. I'm pulled in so many different directions, and still gotta do all my things,
Yeah, still. That's how it is. Same on this side. That's why I told you I built that construction company.
Yeah.
Been at it 9-10 years already. Fortunately, I got over 20 employees now. And so that's running smooth, But like I had mentioned about the podcast, this is another whole different business.
Yeah.
This a whole nother different business. So I was like, before I even started it, I was like, man, I hesitated for 2 years, really, because I knew how it is to bring something from ground up. And in this industry, you really don't get nothing in return. At least when I was painting, when I first started, at least I get enough to pay the bills.
Come on now.
You get extras, And this one, it's just investing. Unless you find an investor, but he going to want a big percentage up front. Off the company from you, So you know how it is.
No, I do.
Yep.
I do, because even with my podcast now, and I guess we'll talk into that later, but just to reiterate what you're saying, I'm doing it solo. No investors, just asking, how I have to, hey, I need support here or there, but I'm by myself.
Yeah, learning your lane.
Even though it'll move slow, but guess what? It's going to move.
Yeah, and how is that going? What is your podcast? Because you starting that journey, right? So how is that going?
I am actually in my very first season of my podcast. It's called The Saga Continues. I'm really excited about it because, like I said, I've been doing radio podcasts for Dwayne Wade Sr. I've done podcasts for all kinds of people in Miami.
In Miami.
Yeah, in Miami, I that was my my thing.
Yeah.
So here to know that this is my baby. And it moves when I want it to move, and it goes how I want it to go. It just feels it's an incredible feeling. Like, it's surreal, So my guests come on the show, similar to yourself, and we talk about them. What is it that what is it that they're doing now? What story brought them to this moment, and what story is going to continue them on?
Nice. Nice. That's what's
up. You gotta come on.
We go make it happen. We go level up there, man. So yeah. And as far as your acting career, what was the wild celebrity starstruck moment, like that one time you met somebody that was like, man, I can't believe I'm working with him or with her?
I've worked with a lot of people. Tom Cruise.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
What's his name? Alan Baldwick.
Okay.
Yeah, those are really cool moments, and I was just like, whoa. I'm not necessarily starstruck though. I don't get starstruck.
You don't?
Heck no.
Nah,
I'm star too.
I mean,
Nah.
you are. No, that's
Nah,
cool.
we
It's
a
like
star
me
too.
sometimes too. I be
Yeah,
like,
you a star, bro.
I look
What you
at him,
talking
but then
about?
I'll be like, nah, I'm gonna wait for you to tell me to take a picture with you, homie. You
yeah,
know
see,
that?
me too, but that's how I am. I don't
yeah.
do all that either.
Like, I'm still humble enough to go
Correct.
shake your hand, go say, hey, what's
Right.
up, man? I'm a fan, you know.
Exactly.
I'm still humble enough, but I feel like we both people. We
That's
both,
right.
you know, do the
They
same
breathe
thing.
just like
yeah.
us, man. They
So,
out here hustling too.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I be feeling like that, and I just treat them as humans.
Yeah,
you know what
no,
I'm
for
saying?
sure,
and
for
they
sure.
and I
And they
feel like they
appreciate that.
respect that.
They do. You know what I'm
respect
saying?
that,
Like,
yeah.
they do. So
Yeah.
that was probably my moment. That was one of my first opportunities to be in my own trailer. That was for the movie. Oh my God, the movie Lord Have Mercy is right
Which
on the
one?
tip of my tongue.
Which one? Which
Oh,
song?
Rock of Ages. Rock
Okay,
of Ages, Rock
okay.
of Ages. So I was on that film, and I had my trailer, and it was the first one I've seen with my name on it. So it was like, yo,
That
and
was cool.
Rock of Ages was years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that was a
so
cool experience.
That was a cool experience that led to me being on Stars on Magic City.
Yeah.
I played the role of the senator's prostitute.
How was that role for you? Or how
That was
when
cool,
they
though.
came to you with that? When they came to you, did you overthink it? Like, should I not?
Heck no. So I was like this, let me show you. So I walked into the audition. My agent at the time, told me about the role, and the role that I was going in for was just something really simple. And I think it was just to be an extra. But I wanted to play the part. Like, so I dressed up in like a 60s sexy, pinup like type girl. I had the hair, the lipsticks, all that stuff. So as soon as I walked into the audition room, someone grabbed me, a gentleman grabbed me. He was like, no, come here. You here for the audition? I was like, yeah, I'm here for the audition. He's like, you're my Letha. And I'm like, yo, who? I was like, all right, well, come on.
Yeah.
So he takes me in the room. And when he takes me in the room, it was completely filled with people sitting around the conference room. And I was like, oh my God. And he said, this is our Letha.
Yeah.
Broke my, I was like, what?
You're like, all right. You're like, all right.
I didn't know
Yeah.
what to say. I didn't know my lines. I didn't know what it required. But yeah, I was like, what? Stars? Heck yeah, put me down.
That's cool.
And it was very, it was lucrative too. So
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up,
I wouldn't
man.
change it.
No, that's what's up. And is content creating nowadays very effective for your businesses? Is it necessary to level up to a next level?
I think so, because right now with the wave that social media has taken, I think content creation is really, really important, right? Because most people back in the days, we would pay for marketing, newspapers, radio, whatever it was, flyers. Now you have social media where you can just create your own stuff and plug it anytime you want, or create the system that you like. So I feel like it's very important.
It's a lot easier nowadays, but
Yeah.
but you also need to learn how to do it. Like, you can't overdo it, you can't underdo it. Like, you have to
agree.
know how to move,
Create
right?
your system, yeah.
Yeah, like me, sometimes I'll be like, man, did I post too many stories? Man,
No,
I be overthinking.
Hey, no,
like,
you just like me, I swear. Even when I finished, I was on a high yesterday from finished taping,
Yeah.
and I started plugging them. Boy, I was just plugging.
You were
I was
going
plugging.
in.
And
Yeah.
they had to call me. It was like, Njie, dial back. I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
Nah, me too. Like, when I'm out of town, when I'm out the country, I
Yeah.
want to upload every story everywhere I
on
go.
now.
Then I got my homie Jay up.
that's-
You need to stop it, bro. You putting the whole vlog up in your stories. I mean, like, man, I just be excited.
I'm
you know?
excited.
Yeah.
But I will say this, I'm so grateful to have a real team, like
Yeah.
a real team, because I'm so used to doing by myself that it would have been nothing for me to just do that.
Yeah.
Like, I've been doing that professionally since 2010. Just post
Yeah.
what I want, do what I want, do it however I want. But yesterday, now that I have Sean, being a part of the team
Yeah.
in such a major way, it was like, no, Njie, from now on, we're going to do it this way. And I was like, for real? He was like, yes.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, I'll take
Yeah,
it.
even me, like, sometimes, like, I'll be like, man, am I posting less? Am I
Yeah.
posting too much? Am I
Yeah.
doing this? Or, like, a lot of people tag me to stuff, and I like to repost it. I'll be
Yeah.
like, I'll be wanting to repost it, but sometimes, I'll be like, I don't want them to think I'm Hollywood and not reposting it, or, but I don't want to overdo it
Get
and
out of my
repost the
head.
same thing like 10,
Get-
15 times.
get out of my
So
head.
sometimes
That
I
is
just be
crazy.
like, man, like, I want to please everybody, but I can't. I'm sorry. sorry. Or I got probably like 40, 50 artists sending me, can you post this on? I'm like, bro, I love you, man, but I can't do it because I didn't do it for the other 30,
Correct.
So I can't please everybody. And then you got folks saying, you Hollywood, this, that. I'm sorry, bro.
That's a real issue, though.
Right. Don't you be like that.
Issue.
Sometimes I just throw my phone.
They just send it to me, and they're like, Njie, just can you post this for me? Can you this? And I'm like, when they ask me, hey, Njie, can you just go on there and comment, and that's it? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I got you. Easy, boom. But when they ask me to repost, I'm like,
yeah. Now,
I got to stay with the branding. I got to stay with the marketing thing that we have, so it's hard. And you don't want to hurt their feelings.
Yeah, you don't. You
but
don't, because you understand the struggle.
Yeah. You got to do what you got to do at this point, because at the end of the day, who paying your bills?
Yeah, that's right.
So, and they'll get it. They'll understand.
Yeah, that's why in the future, once it start getting super, super busy, I'm going to just hand the social media to somebody else. They can handle everything. Handle everything. I'll be like, look, I'm not a part of it. Yeah. Sometimes I'll put a story up here and there, but other than that, don't. You got to level up to get my phone number.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's how it's going to get to. Now, that's what's up. And what advice would you give to an upcoming actor, like starting, or entrepreneur, or anybody starting to trying to level up?
I would say believe in yourself. When it comes down to acting, if you don't believe it, your audience won't believe it either. Yeah. So, if you're, and one thing I heard someone say is you got to know you did it right. So if you created something, just know you did it right. And that's all about believing in yourself. And I think that right there was just keys to me. Yeah. Having the confidence to know that, man, I did do this right. And it doesn't matter what anybody else says. Yeah. And God will align you with the people that have or share the same vision as yours, or are willing to support the vision that you have.
Yeah. That's what's up. If
it's one person, two people, it don't matter.
Yeah. Always give it your best.
What?
Always. Yeah. No, that's cool. And how do you see the industry nowadays as far as business or trying to make it in the industry you're in?
With the industry that I'm in, there's been such a halt with different shows and different, productions being sent out. What I do like about Atlanta, they are not playing. They're still filming. They're still booming. They're still doing their thing. But the other thing that I like is that you get to create your own lane, and I think that is where the industry is going. A lot of times we wait for our opportunities, and in this day and age, just going out there and just doing it is way better than just sitting around waiting for somebody. They will come. Right? They say, what is it? Put it out there and they'll come. Or create it or something like that. I don't remember the quote.
You just have to stay consistent.
Yeah. You have to. Now, that is key, too, because for a while I was dealing with some relationship issues, and it was really, really rough for me. And I kind of stopped posting. I kind of stopped doing a lot of stuff.
It drained you.
It really did. I used to tell people when I would go to shows and stuff like that, and I would call it the Cinderella effect, where I'm on my show and I'm booming on stage, and you get off, you get the high of the people wanting to take pictures and ask you to do stuff, but then now I got to go into my car and I got to go home to this situation, and I'm just sitting there like, God, I really don't want to go, but so I call it the Cinderella effect. So yeah.
It's hard for a lot of people in the industry that. Yeah, a lot of people don't get it. Like they only see the
happy moments,
the happy moments. Yeah, when everybody's screaming, everybody, the pictures, everything. Then you go back to reality. In a room, it's quiet. Yeah. Everything. Yeah,
but over time, I've realized it's not about them. Yeah. Because the person that I'm doing this for, they're going to be touched by whatever God has put in me to do. So the people who don't like it, okay, oh well, that's cool. Yeah, I appreciate y'all too.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's cool. Got to always stay positive. Yeah, always. Sure. And can you name a few sacrifices you had to make along the way to make it to where you at now and where you're going to?
I would say moving. Moving from Miami to here was a big sacrifice. Moving my kids from there to here. Sacrificing a lot of my time with my children sometimes, because if I'm called for a show or to do something, I'm missing out on a game. I'm missing out on a ballet recital. I'm missing out on.
That hurts.
It does. You know what I'm saying? So I try to make it up in different ways, planning dinner dates or planning, whatever outing I can with my kids, or try to talk to them. But I have missed out on a lot. And, some of it is due to my industry work, and some of it was due to the personal life. The personal life, it was a lot. And yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have a 9-year-old. Well, he's about to be 9 this week. this weekend. So have you probably have older kids.
Yeah.
Did you ever have them?
I got a 7-year-old. My daughter's she's gonna be 8 on the 25th of this month.
Nice. Yeah, my son is 8, about to be 9.
Yeah.
But your older kids, did you ever have them like tell you wasn't there for that? You would complain to you or no?
So
and how did you handle that?
Now that's deep, right?
Yeah.
So there came a point in my life where I had been going through some things and I kind of lost it all, lost my place. I never lost the business, but I did lose the brick and mortar, and I lost my employees. I had employees. I had several locations. So I went to a very, very dark place where I had to live with somebody else and my kids had to live somewhere else. Yeah. And I stayed in that situation where I'm living with someone and my kids living somewhere else for about 5 to 6 years. So, and although I picked my kids up every single day for school, dropped them off and did the homeworks and did all these things, they still felt, one of my sons probably, felt like, dang, where's mom? And I was going through, again, that tumultuous point in my life where my son would call me all the time, just wants his mom. Yeah. And I would ignore the phone calls or not answer because of what I was dealing with. And when I look back in hindsight, it wasn't until December that just passed. Yeah. That just passed where my kids and I were able to really unpack that because we were all kind of just tiptoeing around those feelings, because once we moved to Georgia, of course, now you're here with me, now we're tight knit and we're good, but it was a struggle. And once we unpacked that, it was beautiful. I was brought to tears because there were so many memories that I missed. Yeah. It was so many memories that I missed, and it was just like, dang, y'all, you don't get a do-over. Yeah, you don't. You don't get a do-over, and that's why now with my daughter, it's so important to me, just to be there for her as much as I can while I'm still chasing my dreams,
Yeah, and it's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's very, very hard. Very, very hard. It's hard. And sometimes during those circumstances, have you ever felt like quitting and trying something else or saying, you know what, I'm just getting me a normal job, 8 to 5, have time for this, have time for that?
Absolutely. However, my oldest son, though, he grew up with me, right? I had him at 16. So he grew up with me. And there were moments when I would tell them, I was like, yo, look, I think I'm just going to go work for the Postal Service. It's a good job. It's a lot of work, but at least
benefits,
everything. You know what I'm saying? And my oldest would say, nah, Mom, don't give up. Please. Like, you so close, Mom. You so good, Mom. Like, no, you got this. I'm telling you. That was like 7 years ago. Yeah. And I'm still on this journey. Like,
you're still trying to go. Yeah.
So some points you do get there where you just like, man, what am I doing? But I think that's why it's really important to have that entrepreneurship, have that job be a solid foundation for my household while I still chase my dreams. So that's why being an entrepreneur is so important, and why I won't give up, and why I won't let it go. Like, I can do acting all day. Yeah. Like, I love it. Like, to be able to share stories and tell the stories of people like yourself. Like, say you were to write something, you'll be afraid to do it, but give it to me. I got you. I'll hold you down and get up there and do it for you.
That's cool.
So that's who I am.
Yeah, that's cool. Sometimes I question myself, like, are they crazy or am I crazy? Who's crazy?
Who's crazy?
Who's crazy? Am I crazy or they crazy?
Both of us crazy.
So that's how I be. Yeah. But at the end of the day, like you said, we only get an opportunity. We only live one time. So might as well just go at it, you know. And then if I make it to 60, 70, I won't have no regrets. I did what I did, whether I made it or not. Yeah. I did what I wanted to do.
That's right. That's right.
So that's how it is. And what are your favorite 3 actors?
Ooh.
All time.
Not all time. I love me some Denzel. Like, he's like, I don't know. He's like my go-to. There's so many. Because for me, acting is, oh man, if you can take it there, I'm going there with you. It's so many. Like, seriously, I don't know. Will's good. I love Will.
He hard.
Yeah, I love Will. Yeah, I love Will because he's so versatile.
Yeah.
Like, I love that, and
I
got
think some epic movies.
Yeah, and I think that's probably one of the persons that I probably looked up to in the industry when it comes down to not being put into a box. Yeah, because he did not put himself in a box, and nor did anybody else. Yeah, like, he went there from The Pursuit of Happiness to I, Robot to Bad Boys to
Bad Boys.
You know what I'm saying? Like all these different roles, and so. Yeah.
That's cool. Very
There's
dope.
so many.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
a lot
Brad
of
Pitt. Yeah, I love a
Tyler
lot.
Perry.
I
All
love,
of
now
that, yeah.
Tyler Perry's good.
Yeah.
He's really, really good.
Yeah.
I look forward to
Working there.
I have.
Are you
I
have
actually,
work? Yeah.
I have.
Okay. That's cool. Dope. Hey, let them know if they ever need a Mexican criminal in their movies.
Come on,
I'm
son.
right here. And I got the Atlantic
that.
accent, and I could talk like a norteño from Mexico. So I give them that hood Spanish, Mexican Spanish off the cartel if they want, and I give them that hood Atlanta from Bankhead.
I knew you wasn't scary.
Yeah, see,
You might want to take the glasses off.
yeah, take them off. Let me take them off for the rest of the interview. I got like
You
a couple
see?
minutes, so I'm gonna take them off this time.
See
What's
what I'm
happening?
saying?
I'm
There go
facing
those
my fears,
eyes.
Jay. Facing my fears today. Nah, that's what's up. That's what's up. And any big future plans you got that you can announce? Any merch, anything you like to promote on the platform?
So, of course, I would love to definitely promote my baby. The saga continues. It will be released in July, the second week in July. So definitely stay tuned for that. It'll be available on Spotify, Apple, Google, and YouTube. So definitely, please be on the lookout for that. I have, like I mentioned, some projects with Tyler Perry Studios. I've done All Queens Men. You'll see me in All Queens Men. I've done P Valley. P Valley's coming out, again this year. Hopefully it's this year because they're taking a little while. But I have that coming out. I also did a private project with some of Tyler Perry's elite directors and producers that I cannot wait for it.
It's gonna be dope.
Yeah, good. It's still a pilot. It's still a baby. So we don't know where it can go, right?
Yeah.
Because there's many projects that have been created and have never been put out.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully,
fingers crossed, y'all.
yep. And then of course you got the podcast.
Of course, I got the podcast. I have my tax company, financial company, where we do anything from insurance to tax preparation for businesses and for personal. I have my toy drive that I do every single year. It's my nonprofit. It's called Not Forgotten. My partner and I, we do that together in Miami. This will be our 7th year. It's really big. We partner with the city of Miramar.
Okay.
It's dope. It's
And when is
really
that?
dope. That's going to be this year's going to be December 13th. So
December.
y'all could come down to Miami.
Let us know. We'll pull up and we'll be a part of it
I'm
too.
telling you, I'm serious.
We'll be a part of it.
Y'all heard that, right?
Level up. We'll be a
Let's
part of
level-
it.
let's
Let's
level
level up. Yeah, let's level up. So we'll make it happen.
Yeah, and then I'm really excited, honestly, to start attending my son's games for college. His football games start in October, so I'm really, really excited to be a part of his journey.
Okay.
Right, because he was a part of my journey. There was moments where I wasn't there. Now it's like, oh heck, nah. What I gotta do? Oh, it could wait.
Yeah.
It could
No,
wait.
that's cool. That's cool.
I'm going to the game.
Now that's what's up. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
One last thing we do on Let's Level Up is give a motivational message to them folks following their dreams, because it gets hard out here. And some people, they hesitate. They be scared to follow their dreams just because, like me, like what he or she say, or if they had like a dark past and feel like, man, I ain't even worth it, this, that. So, a motivational message for them, but look straight into the camera, into your camera, which is over there, and tell them directly.
So I do want to say, you mentioned having a dark past and how that can prevent you from wanting to go forward. I most definitely have a dark past, and that has been thrown in my face throughout my journey being an actress, of so many people wanting to threaten and, hey, I'm going to put this out, I'm going to do this, and all of these things. One thing for certain, two things for sure. You have to know who you are, right? And if you're led by God, can't nobody bring you down. Can't nobody stop you. If you have a dream, if you have a goal, go for it. Yes, it is scary. Yes, it is tiresome. Yes, there's days where you're going to feel like I'm not going to make it, like I can't go on. Take a break. You're allowed to take a break, right? But once you take that break, dust yourself off and get back up. That's all. That's it. That's all. We all have a past, whether it's out there for the world to see or not out there for the world to see, no matter what kind of past it is, right? Don't let those things deter you from your goals, right? Somebody out there is waiting to see what you do next. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? I'm waiting. I'm trying to see something.
Let's get it. Y'all heard the queen. Y'all heard the star, Njie. Appreciate you coming through, on the platform. It's an honor. I'll soon go on your platform. We'll talk about it.
Yes.
All right. I appreciate you again. And for everybody listening, please tune in. Go follow her. She got great projects coming out, so don't miss out. Don't miss out. And like I've told y'all many times, stop hating. If you like the content, please subscribe, like, share, comment. I'm not asking for no money. Just press that button. It's free. All right, and hey, look, she made me take off my glasses,
Come on
bro.
now.
You know, I'm facing my
leveling
fear.
up.
We leveling up in life. We leveling up in life, and I might get that Mexican acting role because they be putting the same Mexican on all the movies, man. Yeah, they got two Mexicans. Come on, it's time for a change up. We need a Southern. They put the California Mexicans. That's it. We need an Atlanta Mexican.
Come on
yeah,
now.
so
I ain't never heard of no Atlanta Mexican.
well, I've only seen Cap G like on one movie, but hey, but now they need a Ricky up there.
Y'all
you know,
heard that?
y'all need me up there.
That's
hey,
what happens though. You got to put it out there.
Yeah. We got to put, yo, Tyler, listen up, homie. I'm out here, bro, and I live 10 minutes from the studio. Come on, man, get right. Hey, let's get it. I appreciate you again. Thank you. Let's keep leveling up, baby. Let's go.